Hi everybody, how are you doing today? What is it with me and boxes? This is random. Why is she talking about boxes? I don't know. I like boxes. Apparently, if I get a box and it's a good size and I think I can use it for something, I keep it. I have too many little boxes. How are you doing today? I look funny, but it's okay. I feel sick, but I'm in good spirits today. And I'm happy. Why am I happy? Because I finally got a diagnosis. I didn't even realize I got a diagnosis. But I saw, what is today, Saturday? Today's Saturday? Oh my gosh, I'm losing track of days. Hold on. Yes, so yesterday was kind of a big day for me. Do I need food? Forgetting to eat. It's been 3 hours. Okay, I'm gonna get something to eat. You wanna hang out with me for a minute? Wanna hang out with me for like a little bit? I'm gonna grab my, well, I had a little bit of breakfast earlier. Now it's going to be lunchtime. I don't want to drag this out. So, I have news. I finally have a diagnosis. So, my energy levels hasn't changed. My situation hasn't changed. Yesterday was kind of a stressful day because I had my doctor's appointment. I had seen my blood work before I had my doctor's appointment. I saw that I had Epstein-Barr. I test positive for Epstein-Barr. And I thought that I didn't really know much about it. So this would have been Thursday. So since my last video, I think my last video I filmed on Wednesday. So Thursday I had gotten my blood results back. Thursday or Wednesday. But I don't think I read them or was really looking at them. I don't remember what day I got them back. But the Epstein-Barr kind of stuck out in my mind because I was like, what is that? I forgot. I didn't know that Epstein-Barr is the same thing as mono. And when I was young, I had mono really bad because I had it at the same time I had strep. Not getting into a long story about that, but that's why I started posting these little videos about Epstein-Barr virus, because it is associated with chronic fatigue. And although what I was feeling was like chronic fatigue, I didn't necessarily know that that's what I had. I felt like that's what I had. But that was like the common everyday person's experience of what chronic fatigue is. That doesn't mean I thought of it as the specific disease of chronic fatigue. And I didn't know anything about chronic fatigue until yesterday. And it was getting a little overwhelming because when I was watching some of these videos, you see people who have it in a very severe state. It doesn't start off that way. So, I will talk more about this, but the fact that this has been going on for years, and I have pretty much been in bed since like the beginning of November, really. I might have had a day where I could do some cleaning, but I just thought I was run down all the time. I thought I'm burned out, I'm neurodivergent, maybe it's depression, but my depression's being managed. I know that I've had those little anomalies, those blips in time where I had interruption in my medication, and that is very stressful, and it's kind of upsetting to see for other people, I'm sure, because I look not stable, and you aren't stable when that happens to you. But I get a new prescription every refill is 3 months, not counting my Adderall. And so getting a script renewed is every 9 months. So I could go a day or two without, if I don't time the fills properly, but the thing that I had this past time only happens once every 9 months. So that's not a common thing. but the exhaustion is. And about a year and a half ago, I had taken my first leave of absence, and I didn't know about burnout. And I didn't know, that might have been right around the time when I was starting to think I might have autism. I don't even know. I've lost track. I don't know when I started to seriously look at that and sorting through all of that, which is hella complicated. And you think you know what that is, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And I have known about certain conditions I have that can suppress your immune system. They're not Epstein-Barr. So, surprise, you have a third thing. Maybe. So the number that showed up that I had it wasn't necessarily something to worry about, because it is associated with chronic fatigue, but the first screening only shows that you have been exposed to it. The numbers that are high are only the memory antibodies. So when your body, your immune system hunts down and finds these different things, it creates antibodies. Like when you go to get a vaccine, to get your flu shot or COVID vaccine, they give you a tiny little microscopic part of like the DNA sequence or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a certain snippet so that your body can identify, hey, there's a foreign thing here. And your body thinks it's getting sick, but it's not. So the virus won't be active. They only give you a teeny little part of it. So it can't do anything. But your immune system identifies it as an invader. And that's why you feel like you get the flu when you get the flu shot. That's why you feel like you get sick when you get the COVID shot. I'm not going to get into the controversies with the COVID shot, because there's things I still don't know, it being different from other vaccines. But so I'm not going to get into that at all, because I'm not knowledgeable enough. I have my own personal feelings. Everyone's got their own personal feelings, and everybody knows somebody who maybe had a negative reaction with vaccines, which can happen sometimes anyway. So I don't know. But we're just talking about immune system. So memory antibodies. So you have a couple of different antibodies, and one of them your body produces when you first come in contact with a virus or a bacteria or some invader. That's one kind. And then as your body fights it off and you get better, it creates these memory ones and it keeps them. So one of the ways it was explained to us when I took anatomy and physiology is it's good for your immune system to be exposed to as many things as possible. Basically, if you keep things too sterile, and I also want to give a trigger warning to those of you who have OCD about germs and bacteria. I don't know the timestamp yet, but I'm just talking about that for a minute. That might be triggering for you. So, I'm sorry. I'll just keep it brief. But yeah, not counting dangerous things that can really harm you, but regular bacterias, viruses in our environment. Not all bacteria and viruses are bad. We need them. We would be dead, believe it or not. So you know about probiotics. Our body needs to have a microbiome. We wouldn't be able to have certain nutrients that we need to live. It's complicated. If I told you, if that grosses you out, it would be a lot. So, especially if you're neurodivergent, we're not going there. We're not going there. But let me know if you want to talk about that, because I think that that's amazing. I remember learning about it like 10 to 15 years ago and thinking at that point, so I'm sure that the knowledge has increased since then. But at that point in time, they were really looking at our microbiome that live on and around us and inside of us is critical for life, and we would die without it, and we need it. And even though it's horrifying to us because we're humans and we think bacteria bad, virus bad, there's certain ones that we need. That's why it's good to have probiotics if you've had have to have antibiotics. It wipes all the good guys. Okay, I'm way getting off topic. So anyway, so my blood work, I'm very excited. I have no Lyme disease. No Lyme disease. Oh, Genevieve, if you see this, yay, I have no Lyme disease. I have a friend on here who was concerned. She had a feeling it might be Lyme disease. But I might have a different virus that's doing this. So you might not be totally wrong. But we're going to find out. So I finally have an answer, the fact that I have a diagnosis of, and it sounds scary, ME/chronic fatigue syndrome. And, oh, gotta go. Be back.